Hey, welcome everybody. Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983. It's been, well, quite a while since I've had any time to do a video. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to plan to do what will hopefully be a short series of videos covering the old gamers, Civil War Brigade series, these are rules that are available from download from the Gamers resource page on the Multi-Man Publishing website, who bought the Gamers, I don't know, quite a few years ago. So, that being said, I'll try to keep each video under 12 minutes, and this particular game that I have set up, and as most of you know, I do this for fun and passion, and so pretty amateurish, but I hope you have some fun and along for the ride. So the particular game that we're going to be walking through in this series is Thunder at the Crossroads. Of course, covers the Battle of Gettysburg. These games are no longer in print, but you can get them pretty readily on eBay, Facebook, the Consumer Market page, etc. So first things first about the game. The scale of the game is 200 yards per hex. This is a 2-mapper, which covers Gettysburg. I've got it set up for the first scenario. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here. You got Buford's brigade there, but it's 200 meters per hex. Your basic unit has individual brigades. So let's see if we can remember how to do this. But it has individual brigades, and of course the designation. This is how to play. So all right, Mark, you get it together. It's been a while. So let's see here. Oh boy. There we go. 213 is 2nd Brigade, 1st Division, 3rd Corps. It's a Union unit, obviously. This would be its column side, and we'll get into it. It has what's called fire levels. This is the AAB, so it's pretty big. The big B is its morale rating, and morale unit ratings for units go from A being best to D being the worst. There's also individual division commanders, as well as corps commanders. So like here we have Doubleday, and their ratings are from 0 to 4. He's, of course, a division commander. They have headquarter units, artillery. Artillery is generic. Each artillery point represents about 3 guns, but they are generic in this game. And one of the things that makes the game pretty unique, and of course you're going to have your army commander. So for Gettysburg, Lee didn't have his best time, so he's rated as a 1. There are optional rules with optional units, and of course you could play him with his traditional rating of 4, which is a pretty high rating. So we're going to kind of get into that a little bit as we go. The series covers just tons of battles. Champion Hill, 3 different games cover the 7 days. There's Antietam, Shiloh, Chickamauga. Of course, we're looking at Gettysburg here. There's 3 battles of Manassas, covers the first battle of Manassas, second battle of Manassas, third battle, a hypothetical battle of Manassas. Kind of shows a little bit of the evolution. One of the things that we'll get into some is the command rules, the order system in this game is what makes it unique. You can always play it without the order system. Before we get into that, without further ado, I would say that's what makes this game special to me. And me and some friends have played this off and on over the years. I have, as most of you know, a massive collection of war games, so I decided to pull it out. This is, of course, going to be a solitaire effort. You actually track different morale states. Let's see here with the counters. They're shaken, disorganized, routed, and bloodlust, which all have different effects. You trace fire levels with markers underneath the counters. And honestly, you know, I'm going to show you another way that I do it without, that way you don't really need to use the markers, but the fire markers are rated A, B, C, or like that last unit we saw, AAB. And we'll show you some charts later on, is how you generate your firepower out of a hex. But they do have these markers that you can use. You know, like this is the AA to mark the current strength of the brigade. If you had an AAB, you'd have to use, like, for example, that AA counter and a B. Well, what I found is helpful, and by the way, each of these blocks represents about 100 guys. So you also keep track of your different losses. And as you can see here, for example, Anderson's brigade and Hood's division, part of the Confederate First Corps, has a morale of B, that would be on the counter, fire level AA. And each of these boxes is about 100 guys in losses. And you mark losses in this game with losses and stragglers. So that being said, I found it's easier. You're keeping track of losses anyways. Instead of cluttering up the counters, I just use these sheets to keep track. And it's supposed to be hidden anyways. Now you'll notice there's a little grayed out box there. And that, when a unit reaches that, that means it becomes a wrecked brigade. And you also can have, you see, it's Hood's division. Did I say Heth? Hopefully I said Hood's division earlier. But anyways, you know, once 3 of his brigades become wrecked, the whole division's wrecked. And that has different morale effects. And we'll get into morale when we show the, when we get to that part of the rules. I do want to show you, before I wrap up this video, and I may not sound like it, but I'm pretty excited about playing this, because I haven't played it in, well, a large number of years. Used to play it all the time. And there's a regimental sub-series of this, which is, I won't say the same game, but it's, you know, a lot of similarities because it's regimental. And then there's also what's called line of battle games out there. And of course, those are a new set of rules that are backwards compatible for the regimental sub-series. And some titles in that are Fearful Slaughter, which covers Shiloh. This Terrible Sound, which covers Chickamauga. And This Hallowed Ground. The newest release, but it's quite expensive to find, is Last Chance for Victory, which is Gettysburg. And None But Heroes, have the line of battle rules in them. But like I said, in line of battle, you can get online. It's backwards compatible to the other games. But None But Heroes by Antietam. But back to the Civil War Brigade series. So I'm going to just show you the sequence of play. And we're going to go over that really quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and end this video and start playing. So, that being said, what I'll do is I'll have to figure out different times to bust in and show you what the action, what's going on, and then update you on the rules, because I do want to, and rules, like, if you're an experienced wargamer, let's bring you over here actually really quick. You can get a little tour of my tiny little game room here, and I'm going to try to do this. Let's see here. As you'll see, terrain effects, movement factors are not on the counters, but it will tell you by whether they're in line, column, those are different formations. How many points they have on the left there. So a unit in line formation will have 6, and what it costs for the different terrain types. Here's the abbreviated sequence of play. And then you also notice the elevation levels. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about scale, each turn's about a half an hour. You track ammo expenditure for your artillery. And you also track casualties, because they can be, important for the victory conditions of the game you're playing. And you'll notice, let's see here, this number here is visibility in hexes, depending on the time. And then I believe, if I remember right, it's been a while, like I said, since I read, that means there's a reinforcement or something's coming on the board, I believe. Or wait a minute. Oh, straggler recovery is on the hour, so that might be what that's a reminder of also. So anyways, I'm going to show you, you can see I have some cool stuff here in my game room. Yes, and this is, yeah, I know, too many games, right? Had to show it off, sorry guys. Don't we all want to do that with our collections? I think that's true. Anyways, I'm going to show you the sequence of play, and then I'm going to end this video. So, and then hopefully I'll see you in part 2. So each turn always starts off with the command phase, which is you issue orders. And of course, you really won't know what much of this means till we go over the rules. You roll for core attack stoppage checks, right? So that's basically when your core or unit has orders to attack, to do something. Once it takes small arms fire, it has to start rolling for core attack stoppage, which, your guys don't just keep marching until they're all dead. Then you can issue initiative determination, which, is basically you're rolling on a chart based on the commander's rating, where they can issue themselves orders. Of course, they run the risk of getting a loose cannon result, which means your opponent can tell them what to do for a turn. Except they can't attack themselves, but they can be forced to do some pretty crazy things. Then, of course, orders are accepted, not accepted, but that's what delay reduction is. They could have a delay, so you're trying to get them delayed so they get accepted. New order acceptance. Then you do movement. As you see, straggler recovery marker replacement. We'll get into the requirements for that. That's only on hourly turns. You can try to recover stragglers. And then you do movement and close combat. Any ammo resupply, which you have supply wagons, and if you're within X amount of hexes, you can resupply your low ammo guys. Then you do fire combat. The non-phasing player always gets to fire first, then the phasing player. And then you do rally. That's when you do your straggler recovery on hourly turns. Rally is like reduced from disorganized to shock. If you have routed guys, you roll to see if they can recover, if they rally to disorganized. and then the other player goes. And unless the scenario says the Confederates always go first in these games, for Thunder at the Crossroads, the Union actually goes first, and it starts at 08:30 on July 1st with Buford in place, Devon in place. And if you're familiar with the battle, I have Hath, who will enter here, but not till, I believe, 9 a.m. I have to look on the chart, but that's Hath. I just put him here as a reference. And then, of course, you can't see it. So here's Reynolds and the first part of First Corps, of course, going to be coming up the road. So anyways, that's it. I hope you stick along for the ride. I'm glad to finally be able to post something, because I'll tell you, you guys know I love wargaming. So anyways, thanks a lot. Have a great night from Clark Commando 1983, and I hope you'll join me for the ride. This is part 1, Civil War Brigade series, Thunder at the Crossroads, and I'll be hopefully teaching so you guys can get a copy or bust out your old copies and get it on the board. Thanks. Have a great evening.